Yo, I'm getting this video out early. It's like 7:50. About to hop on the train. But I really wanted to talk about some issues that I feel like everybody's skirting around because were so. I think it's so funny that, we always talk about, learning from the past. Um, there's things that we avoid, like very, very obvious things that we avoid that we miss when we're talking about making the future. And what we've been talking about lately is social media, education, careers. It fools you into thinking that you're being successful when you're really not, right? And it fools you into thinking you're gonna get out of your class, but you're not, right? That people don't think there's a class system. Yes, there is, right? We say it, middle class, low class, but what does that really entail, right? You're not able to get out of these classes no matter what you do. It's unfortunate. Maybe that your kids below you would be able to, if you set up the wealth for them, but I don't know if you'll be able to do it in your lifetime. But another thing is, left movements kind of want to abolish property, right? And then the right movements kind of want to, segregate and kind of have everybody kind of govern themselves. And it's funny because both these movements at their core are ignoring the fact that this is a big thing, when China was getting dominated, who are they getting dominated? By other Chinese. War happens within your own race. Africa wasn't fighting, before they get colonized, Africa was fighting Africans. What were Native Americans fighting? Native Americans. What were the white people fighting to go into the Dark Ages? They were fighting other white people, other Europeans. I think we are forgetting that we are human. And I think we're trying to do so many things to cover up that we are human. And that, unfortunately, we need war. You need war. And it needs to be, you need to have, I think, unfortunately, no matter how we sophisticated our lives can get, we'll never be able to scratch these itches or these urges, and there will always be an avenue created. And the more sophisticated the society, the more scarier the primitive or the sexual or whatever the urge that we're hiding is, right? So for example, I bet you this is gonna be a wild take, right? I'm gonna say it's a wild take, but I bet pedophilia back then, like in the middle, like way back when, wasn't a thing. Well, granted, because they all like had kids young anyway, so I guess technically it wasn't, and there wasn't any sex trafficking or like organ harvesting because they had war. They had a fear of death, right? Now, here, bear with me here. Since we don't have this fear of death, we don't have this actual male instinct of providing, since women don't have this actual urge of being a mother, we're creating these, yes, there's pedophilia, there's these child sex rings, there's organ harvesting, there's a bunch of other crazy shit, and I feel like it would only get even more crazy when we remove nature. I think the further we would get out of nature, the harder our lives are. And that's why, think about this. It's obviously a joke, right? But why do men get so upset when their girl says, or why does our girl, when we say, what do we want to eat? And the girls, and it's the popular joke, right? Like, she's like, I don't know. And men actually get mad, right? You know how we don't laugh? Because we're not working, we're not being providers. Gaining money, this is how funny it is. Gaining wealth and money isn't a you still don't feel like a provider. But you know what a basic ass necessity is that's caveman-ish? Getting food. That's why it's so funny. That's why they get so mad. We just worked fucking a sales stock job all day. We didn't do fucking shit. And then you want me to get you food? Well, that's my caveman maternal instinct in me saying, get food for family, right? We get food for family. We feel success. That's, boom, that could probably make our whole day. That's how simple. I'm trying to tell y'all, the longer and the harder we get away from nature, the more fucked up internally we are, and the more fucked up things we have to do to balance it, which then gets into these moral dilemmas and all types of shit. And the reason why I want to bring this video is because, we got the right wing talking about segregation, we got the left wing talking about get rid of property, and it's like, if we get rid of property, it doesn't matter if America becomes a mixed race place, right? If it becomes mixed race, and let's just say, because this is where I see it's going to go. It's just going to be like the Native Americans. We're going to outline territory for each groups to have. Each group is going to look exactly like a little different. They're going to be black, white, Asian, all Indian, mixed in with whoever ideologies they believe behind in that piece of land. And they're still going to go to war. It's just going to look different. It's just going to look different. But we're going to think it's more sophisticated. Like, oh, we're better than the natives because they were just going. It's the same thing. I'm telling y'all, that's where it's going to go. If civil war were to break out, right? It would be literally just different people, different groups of people under a different ideology, which is what we're seeing right now, right? Because America is so fractalized, right? Yeah, that's a word. Fractured, whatever you want to say. There's so many different subgroups, and it's all because we are not realizing we're all oppressed. Since we don't all realize that we're all oppressed, we make all these mini subgroups to gain validation. It's because it's avoiding the oppressor. So the longer we avoid the oppressor, we're going to kill each other, right? That's why education, all these things, all these careers, all these things that give you false hope of like avoiding what in front of you. And think about it, that's all we have in this society today is a bunch of people avoiding, which is what I keep talking about. All my videos are mentioning the same thing: avoidance, escapism. Everything I'm talking about is exactly what's going on today. And that's why the last thing I'll say is, that's why I fully believe that, you can only save yourself. You can only save yourself. You can only worry about yourself. It sounds so terrible, because even if you have a wife and kids, you still at the end of the day got to worry about yourself. I know that sounds bad, but think about it. You're not going to be able to change anybody's mind. You can't. Your wife has her own thoughts. Your kids are eventually going to have their own thoughts. You need to be able to make sure you're saved first. Like I'm talking about, and yourself, like you've reached your enlightenment and whatever, and you're comfortable. Not everything is for everybody, and that's one thing that we got to accept. People go crazy reading and researching and opening up the world to new ideas. Not everything is for everybody. That's why there's people who go too far, extremists, because it wasn't for them. Think about every extremist of every group. Everybody like, damn, what the fuck wrong with him? Then there's some people, I wish I could be like that. It's like, you don't got to be like that to fit in here. You ain't got a lot to kick it. I'm just saying that because it's tough. Like, we're really going to get to a point where I really see a future where no matter what, because, at the end of the day, I believe this is like a virtual reality, right? So no matter what time you come in at the system, I feel like that's kind of part of the game, right? You're going to be a part of a time. You're going to come in the game when there's a time where it's fucking Egyptian, right? You building pyramids. There's everybody's unity. You're fucking floating and shit. You're vibrating up at you know what I mean? You guys are like flying and shit. And then you're going to come into a realm where it's just slavery and it's fucking down bad. And I feel like, and it's funny because like, I feel like if you're on the outside looking in, right? You're looking at the game, you're like, yo, that's hilarious. Like, this is funny. Like, this is fun. This sounds fun. And then obviously when you get in the game, you're like, damn, this game fucking, woo. This game sucks. But then like, I bet you when you die and you're looking down at it, you're like, damn, that was a lot of fun. Because I feel like at the end of the day, because you know how we say, this life is only like, I mean, it's 100, let's say it's 100 years. But that's really, in the grand scheme of time, it could have been 30 seconds, could have been a minute, could have been an hour, right? And it's just like a high you took, right? It's just like, damn, it's like, boom, I just got off that human experience drug, lasted an hour. Thought it was 80 years, and like, then now you got PTSD and shit. That's why they told you not to use that drug, by the way. I'm kidding. They told you to get off that human drug. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to add. Not really. I just feel like we're avoiding this humanness, that war and having kids and being a man, being a woman is that's why it was a thing. And the longer we run from it, the more issues we have. Like, I just feel like the more we try to, and it's all because of capitalism and colonialism, right? When you're under capitalism and colonialism, no thought you can have is original. No, and what I mean by no thought can be original, this is my last point and then I'll wrap it up. No thought can be original. So under capitalism, all you want to do is capitalism. These are the two thoughts, and obviously you'll understand what I'm saying. These are the two thoughts capitalism breeds. The rich people are saying, man, we got to get rid of the poor people, right? Because they're fucking up us, right? They're like, they get rid of the rich people. And then the poor people want to be the rich or eat the rich or kill the rich, right? They either want to be rich, kill the rich, get rid of them, right? So there's only two thoughts. So if you cannot be that, what has to happen? A lot of coping has to happen. Got to cope, got to deal with the reality. So there's a lot of this domination effect going on. Now, same thing with colonialism. If you get enslaved by a group of people, there's only one thought: be like the enslaved, be the enslaver, or kill. And then if you're the one who captured, you want to kill your slaves, right? So what happens? You're creating this society where no one can actually be free of a thought, right? Because the only reason, now think about it, break it down. The only reason you want to be rich is because you want to be like the rich, the rich class. Everything, all your actions, you want to write a book, you want to do this, you want to do this, you want to do this. Is it really original? Do you really want to do that, or do you want wealth? Is that really the reason you want to do it, right? Same thing with, put it in colonial terms. Did slaves want to own slaves? Or did slaves want to own plantations and then, in turn slave their own black kind, right? No. But they had to join that class. They wanted to be like the enslaved. The oppressor. So I'm telling you, with these systems in place, which is why we have to abolish them and just honestly just go back to nature, which is my whole thing, you will never be able to think freely. You'll never be able to think clear, unfortunately. I know that's a heavy video, but for 8 a.m., but I'd be waking up on 1. I don't know nobody, a little bit of gas for myself. I don't know nobody who wakes up at 7 a.m. just on 1 like I do. Just a little gas for myself. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.